Got the driver's side inner fender well snapped in place, and we're starting to fit it. We actually just went ahead and snapped in. Actually, that's the passenger side. This is the driver's side. It's snapped in place too. As you can see, we haven't even really started fitting it yet. We just snapped it in there, so it's in there. This one's actually looking pretty good. I think I'm going to start here. The arch of it is a tiny bit off. We'll just have to tweak it a little bit. You do have to kind of squeeze these a little bit to get them in. So we're going to start right up front here. Push this in, get a clamp here. Through here it's looking pretty good. We'll get that pulled tight, in, forward a little bit, tight. Get as far as we can. Maybe drill and weld a couple spots and just keep working our way right around. But as you can see, once we pull this over, we can weld right into that frame rail, and then this structure here, it's actually looking really, really good. Trying to make sure all that's flat and even, and so far it's fitting pretty nice. Pretty happy with it. Quick break working on the Camaro. We're really getting that wheel well laid in nice, getting it clamped up and welded in. We did get 2 boxes in, so let's get these unboxed, opened up, and see what we got going on here. I think I know what this stuff is. Yeah, it's American Auto Wire wiring harness. I've used these before. Hopefully this is all what we need. So it's 2 harnesses, and they are actually for that car. So they're the under hood harnesses, and yeah, it's V8 with factory console gauges, and it's got the HEI hookup, 69 Camaro. So that's the engine harness, brand new, plugs into the firewall and routes across. Very nice stuff here. It also goes down to the starter and all that kind of stuff. So we have that one, and the other one is the front light harness, V8 factory gauges, and it's got internal regulator. So another nice piece. Again, American Auto Wire makes some really nice harnesses for these cars, and they do slight updates. So for instance, this one does away with the external regulator on the core support, and it's got the wire hookup for a 1-wire or the internally regulated alternator. So that's that box. Let's check out this box. We use the old Raptor here for a workbench. There we go. Yeah, these actually look pretty nice. They're the LSX, of course, Holley LS valve covers. They're a little taller than factory, a little bit more height to them. Of course, the LSX logo on them, and no provisions for the coil. So we're going to do a coil relocation kit. Now this is for the 1967 Chevy C10 we're doing. We have that sheet metal intake and a Texas Speed cam kit for it, and a yank converter to go in it also. But these are pretty nice. We should probably lay these on Project LS Extreme and see how they look on there. Alright guys, I actually already have my valve covers bolted down, but we'll just kind of lay that on there, and you can see how sweet they look. We might have to check into that for this S10 build also, because that's very sweet. Here it is out of the box, and these actually are very nice. Of course, it's got the oil fill cap, it's got the vent tube on there, and they are baffled also. It's got Holley on the inside there, cast right into it. And it also comes with the new bolts down here, the center bolts, because these are taller than stock. So it comes with new grommets. However, it does not come with new gaskets, so we'll have to pick up a pair of valve cover gaskets when we do that swap. We're inside here, as you can see. Hopefully you can see in here. It's a little bit dark. We got all this drilled, plug welded through here. On the back side here, again, it's a little dark, but we have all that drilled. I just got to reroute my welder so I can weld. So at that point, we'll be like 3/4 of the way around this wheel tub on the inside, and then we can go down and start pushing over and attaching it to the floor here. That'll push right over, and that gap will tighten right up. once we have that welded, that will secure the height for our trunk floor, and then we can actually let it down and work down off the ground, so I won't have to climb up and down the little ladder here. But it's moving right along. Let's keep rolling. We're pretty much welded through the inside here. We got a couple blow-throughs here where I was drilling, so we'll just clean them up, and then when we seam seal, you'll never see that. But we were able to get a nice tight gap through there. Looking good. So now we'll start pulling this over, clamping it, and drilling and spot welding in through here. We got quite a bit. Actually, we don't. So I'll just kind of stay nice and even, space them out kind of nice and even. Once we grind them, you shouldn't even see where we welded, but we'll just space them out through here, get this pulled over, and like I said, that will lock our spacing. That'll strengthen this back end tremendously. So let's go ahead and get this clamped and get them plug welded in there, and then we'll be able to get rid of that pole jack. All right, we got it clamped nice and tight against that frame rail. We got our holes drilled and countersunk. We'll zip them up with some weld, remove the clamps and weld in between there, and keep moving up and down. Like I said, making that nice and tight. We do have our flange here on the floor, so we'll pull that tight and pretty much zip right around this thing. All right, we got that all welded up, plug welded all through here. Where it was flush, I did plug weld, but I decided to just go ahead and weld it solid. Once I grind that smooth, it'll look like kind of one piece of metal all the way down to the frame rail. Adds a little bit more strength, but it gets rid of that lip there. But we'll grind that smooth and make that look good. Again, all the way up through there. It's a nice tight fit. We put a couple welds back here just to tie it together. We still have to go inside there from that top vice grip down and weld the inner flange. But other than that, this wheel well is pretty much done. And we can fit a lot wider tire now. You can see up in there, we got a lot of room now. Getting this other side installed. It's actually looking pretty good, laying in there pretty nice. You look inside there, we got it welded all the way up and into the trunk area, and now it's time to that was challenging to get back that far. I had to go in, weave through that brace, weave through this deck support, and try and get in there to weld. So now it's time to actually crawl into the trunk and finish off both sides all the way down. But it's fitting nice, so we'll just get in there. Probably gonna get burnt by the sparks, but just get this done and move on from here. We got this side all straightened out. You can see we got all of our pre-holes drilled around, nice and evenly spaced in through here. We'll tie all that in together. We do have to push this in. There's a flange on the back side here we can clamp to, and then this will just, it pushes in really easily, so we'll just push it in, get one, probably like every other one we'll push in with a handle, get every other one, then just come back and make sure that lays flat. All right, we got all that welded up, looking good. I actually just ran out of gas for the welder, but we got these drilled up and clamped on too. So we'll take the grinder and sander, get all these knocked down, make them flush, clean that up real nice, and when we pick up some gas tomorrow, we will be able to zip the rest of this up. And she's looking really good. Definitely nice and solid now. Ties all this in extremely well. We have our forged line wheel with our 335 tire mocked up on the Camaro. To me, that's sitting a little bit high. Let me set you down here on this cart and we'll lower it down and see about where we like it. I think probably for my liking, I like about there. But with this setup, with the Texas Speed or Detroit Speed mini tubs and the 12-inch forged line with a 335, you can really drop it that actually looks really good. Maybe I like that better than the first time I said it, but that is really, really low. If you look at the rocker panels, obviously there's no rear suspension in the car yet, so we're just sitting on the lift, but the lift is sitting on the ground there. So we have very little space here. So she's pretty low there. If I stand beside the car here, you can see how low this thing is. But it tucks right up in there. If I grab this, we have a little bit of room there. We come on the inside. We have a little bit of room on the inside there too. So it definitely tucks it up under there good. That's probably a little low, to be honest with you, but this thing's getting the whole complete adjustable rear suspension from SpeedTech. It's got adjustable coilovers, so obviously we can set our ride height pretty much wherever we want it, anywhere in between where I just had it. So we'll let the customer decide that, and we'll have to get all the way of the car, you know, interior glass, all that kind of stuff before we adjust coilovers for the finished ride height. But this car is coming along really nice. We peek inside here. Of course, we got the tail pan all finished up. We got the mini tubs finished up. We do still have to put our brackets back there to support the trunk hinges. They're here. I have to trim them down. We do still have to do that, but pretty much everything else in the back here is done. I'm getting ready to seam seal the front floor. So along through here, and we'll just go ahead and do across the front there. Then I can put the seat risers in there. So we'll go ahead and get that finished up. And I have to get way down here to show you just how wide that tire is, but this car is really, really sitting low. I mean, here's my hand. I can almost span that. That's a 335 tire, which doesn't really sound like all that much with today's modern cars, but on a 1969 Camaro, that is a huge tire. And it stuffs right up in there nice. Alright guys, we got our seam sealer here. Got it all cut up, got everything vacuumed and cleaned out of the inside here. We're going to go ahead and seam seal all this up nice. We'll get it gooped in there, and we'll probably go across the toe board there also. If we have enough, we'll keep going right back around here too. If we have another tube, we'll probably have to get more, but for now, let's get as much done as we can. What we're really looking to do is this section right through here so we can put the seat platforms down. But let me get started here and I'll show you how it looks. Alright, there it goes. This stuff's working pretty good. You're never really going to see this. Carpet's going to cover it, your sound deadening's going to cover it, but it does have to seal good. Alright, that one tube went actually pretty far. We got all the way across the front, up the toe board, up the firewall, both sides, like I said, across, all the way down in front of the wheel well, and then the same over here. So that's about where we ran out. We did in front of the wheel well, down this side, up the firewall, across, up the firewall, and back down. So I wasn't sure if I was going to show that product because it's the first time I've used it, but it actually worked really well, so I guess we'll show it. It's a Proform urethane sealer adhesive. This stuff is black. We're going to coat the underneath of this thing black, so if any of it pops out, it'll be easy to cover because it's already black. So it actually went in really nice. After it was done, we just kind of, excuse me, took our finger with a glove on and just smoothed it out nice, and it worked out pretty well. Not super sticky. I really don't like the silicone versions of this stuff. They're just a mess and they really don't seal very well. The urethane seems to seal a lot better. So yeah, Proform part number 18122 seems to work pretty well. Now we can actually take our seat riser platforms, whatever you want to call them, and lay them down in there. They just kind of position themselves. Here's the access hole for when you bolt the subframe in, it sits right in this, that support's already welded to the floor, and then there's kind of this channel right through here, right in front of that. So this whole thing kind of sits and positions itself. You can hear it kind of pop right in place there. And of course it welds in through the center of the floor, a few in the back here, which we'll have to really pull that down probably nice and tight. This is actually all pretty nice already, and of course this is pretty nice. We'll take the hammer and tap that over so it meets the inner rocker nice. Welded here, welded here. There's a tab up here, across here, and a few down the back here where these ribs are. So let's get started positioning that. We'll get both sides done. We have all of our welding, we have all of our seam seal, so we're good to go with these. Fortunately, we got to move the Camaro again. This cart has really came in handy. We've used this thing countless number of times, and it really didn't take long to build. So if you're going to do this type of work, definitely a good idea to build something. If you got a kind of working garage. But as you can see, we're looking a lot better. Floor's done, trunk pan's done, inner wheel wells are in. Just got to button up a couple of things. We did get all that seam seal done. Getting ready to put these floor or the seat risers, seat platforms in. And then we can actually, we could now, but we can get rid of this brace now. It's not needed. So it's getting really close now. Start mocking up that Speed Tech rear suspension. I'll probably make that a complete, just make that a complete another video of the Speed Tech suspension track bar install. But it's looking good. Let's get this out of the way. We got a couple cars to pull in, get some work done, and we'll get it back over here. I believe that's a hawk, but he is making all kinds of racket out here. There he goes flying away. You can hear him.